Welcome back to the Sawmill. It's Friday, January 18th. The month is almost over. And real quick weather report before we start going. Rain's supposed to start about 1 o'clock today, and guess what, guys? Tomorrow we're getting a solid inch of rain. I'm so excited, I can't stand it. A solid inch of rain tomorrow, guys. Man, I am just tickled to death with that. So today we got more walnut on the mill, and I am ashamed to say this walnut right here has been on the ground a lot longer than it should have been. I done a video on this walnut when I picked it up at the farm in April of 2016. So it's been almost 3 years. I think they cut this tree the 1st of April. I didn't cut it down on the farm or cut it down. It was an old man named Newland. He still got his farm. It's about 10 miles from here, I think. Some nice walnuts. We sawed up some of these already in previous videos about a year or two ago. And if you're wondering why I keep on making references to creek bank walnut, what my experiences have been with sawing up stuff on a creek bank, the color has just been different. I don't know if it's because of the minerals and the soil that go through that water, but when you open these things up, when they come from a creek like that, the color is just fantastic. It's different. It's darker. You know, it's just different. I'm hoping these will be the same way. One thing here about black walnut, and I'll share this with you guys, and this has been my experience with walnut. It is very forgiving when you leave it on the ground. Its rot resistance, I think, is right up there with white oak. It does really good outside. And if it wasn't so valuable for furniture, this would be a go-to material for trailer decking and timber frames and log cabins. If it's just too valuable to put on the side of a building for siding or to use for timbers or trailer decking, but man, it lasts a long time. So if you're ever in a bad situation and this is all you got, and you need something to put for siding or something outside, you know, people's gonna frown on you and call you crazy, but man, it's gonna last anything else you can put on there, probably besides white oak. Now this log, the bark is off of it. We got mushrooms growing on it. It looks horrible. I mean, it's got dirt in the bark. It looks terrible. Most people would see a log like this and they would go ahead and cut it up into firewood or just throw it in the burn pile and burn it as is. But we know better. We know that walnut and the rot resistance of it that I just talked about and beating your heads for the past 30 seconds is tremendous. So there's no reason not to saw this up. So let's do some dimensions here and see what the size of this log is and get the Wood-Mizer going. Just to clarify something, I've been asked to do this on the videos, on the comments below. I'm using Wood-Mizer 7-degree double hard blade, and I'm cutting these slabs into 9/4, which is 2 1/4 inches thick, which I will set on the Anchorseal on the Wood-Mizer so I get the same thickness on every cut. The UPS is coming sometime today to bring me a new gas tank for the mill. It's got a hole in it. And I've also got a 4-degree blade they're shipping me to try out. I've never tried a 4-degree. So if that thing comes while we're sawing this log, I'll probably switch them out and see how it goes. If not, it'll be here in time for the next log, which is the other creek bank walnut right behind it. All right, it looks pretty good. So I got to turn the way I want it here to capture the crotch wood, and the crotch at the top right here on our width, man, it's about 27 inches here on the top. That should be some really nice wide boards. And right here on the front end, if it looks fresh cut, that's because it is. It was about 9 feet. And I like to have them 8.5 for the kiln to try to keep all my slabs the same length. So I cut that off the other day and put Anchorseal over it. So that's why it looks fresh cut on this end right here. Now some other things to look for. There's a knot right here on the very top where this, let me pull the camera up so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So right here, there was another branch that came out, and I need to turn this a little bit toward me before I saw it. That's the neighbor. I thought it might be the UPS truck. He's hauling in a bunch of hay for his horses, it looks like. No shortage of hay in this area. These farmers have gotten multiple cuttings this year because of all the rain. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this knot right here is going to open up some face grain. So right below this crotch, we might have some interesting figure right here. And I just now noticed this. Let me bring you guys in. Right here, when I turn it a little bit toward me, it's going to expose another crotch area. We had a limb coming out right here on this side, so the crotch will be exposed right here also. So there's a good possibility we're going to have crotch at the top and the bottom. Good Lord, there's more of it. We're going to have a third crotch maybe right here below it. Right here below it is yet another limb with the way we're going to have it turned. So there's a possibility. I'm pretty confident we'll have two crotches right here, and we could possibly have a third one. One other thing real quick here, when you're sawing up walnut, don't get in a hurry, or if it's cherry, maple, oak, or whatever, you're not cutting for, you know, pallet lumber or nothing like that. You're doing high quality furniture grade lumber. I get questions all the time on my email and comments. You know, the guy will send me some pictures of different timber and ask the best way to saw it. Well, the first way to do it is to not get in a hurry. That's the best strategy you'll have, is taking your time and having patience and looking at that log. And you know, sometimes I've stared at a log for 30 minutes, or I've come out here at night, you know, not here, but my other locations, and I've looked at them for an hour or two, just sit there and thought about it. You know, the best strategy on how to get these things sawed the best way for the best yield. Don't get in a hurry. This ain't no, you know, this ain't no race. It ain't no contest to see who can run this mill down the rail the fastest and produce the most lumber. You know, if you were a pallet factory, that'd be a different story. But when you're doing stuff like this for furniture, take your time, patience. Just like drying this wood, you know, patience. Saw it, stack it, and forget about it. Let it air dry as long as it can before it goes in the kiln. It makes it more stable, and just, it's a better product at the end of the day. You know, don't get in no hurry. Don't chase that dollar and think just because you got some nice slabs, you need to go ahead and put them on Craigslist and sell them as quick as possible. Because you're going to lose so much money when you do that. You know, let them wait. Find a kiln, dry them, and you're going to make 4 or 5 times what you thought you'd make to begin with. Patience. Let's get sawing. Hope that blade comes today. Really anxious to see how those 4-degree blades run. Well, here's the first slab, guys, and this is the outside of the tree, and the other side of the slab should be a whole lot better. We'll see if there's any crotch figure in the top, and there's not. Actually pretty solid here on the outsides. I was expecting some rot out here in the sapwood. The sapwood will rot first. The heartwood's good to go, but the sapwood and a lot of these logs that's been on the ground would go first. But it's intact actually. But no crotch wood at the top right here. Let's move on down. Here's where that second crotch should be that we talked about. And right here above it is that knot. And kind of interesting, got a nice swirl pattern going around right there. So we'll see if there's any crotch wood right here on this part. And we got a little bit right there. Not a whole lot, but it's pretty neat the way the sapwood comes down. And that's why I like this creek bank walnut, guys. These colors in here, you don't get that with walnut that grows out in the forest. When it comes from a creek bank, man, you really get these unique colors in here, and the figure's better. I don't know what causes it, like I said earlier, but man, it just really comes to life when you saw them up like this. But some real nice crotch right here. The underside should be better than this. Oh yeah, man, it really comes to life right there when you put some water on it. Just like putting finish on it whenever you build something with it. Here's the underside of that slab, and judging by the face of it, I got a washboard effect going on. I hit a nail or some bark got hung in the blade and bent a tooth a little bit, or maybe a rock or something. Something happened here. I'm not sure what it was. I've examined the face here and I don't see any metal or nails or anything. You usually can see those right off, and you can hear it when you saw into them. You know, but as long as the saw was sawing a consistent thickness, I'm okay. You know, I don't care about this as much. I don't like it, but it's not going to ruin the board, because after this is dry to run through a planer, those marks are gone. But I'll definitely put a new blade on there, because I don't like sawing with the tooth being off like that. That can cause other problems later on and damage the blade even more. So I don't see anything. I don't know. Who knows? So this is the underside of that slab. We should have two crotches. It looks like we'll have a crotch at the top that we've been after, and down here toward the bottom is going to be another one, it looks like. Right there it is. It goes for a good ways. It starts here and goes down about 20 inches. Oh yeah, wow. That's got some curliness to it actually in the crotch. I got the camera turned at a different angle. I'm constantly fighting these lights in here and the glare, but I'll get the hang of it eventually. But check it out. It starts right there and comes all the way down. And this knot comes up and kind of joins the craziness going on in there with the grain. Man, that is nice stuff right there. And another crotch here beside it.